Hello and welcome to Pushing Back, Ukraine Daily Brief. As the war enters its 751st day, these are the main developments from the past 24 hours. Russia has lost approximately 429,580 troops in Ukraine since the beginning of the war, the General Staff of Ukraine's armed forces reported. The number, which has not been independently verified, includes 1,160 casualties over the past day. According to the released Ukrainian figures, Russia lost 21 tank, 24 armored combat vehicles, 26 artillery systems, 2 air defense systems, 14 drones, 2 cruise missiles, 31 vehicles and 1 piece of special equipment. The update from the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. There were 68 combat engagements. The enemy launched a total of 8 missile and 57 air strikes, carried out 46 multiple launch. The Ukrainian Air Force launched air strikes on 7 concentrations of troops, weapons and military equipment of the occupiers. In its latest intelligence update, the UK's Ministry of Defence reports. A new analysis shows a record number of men in Russia aged 31 to 59 with disabilities, likely due to the war in Ukraine. The data suggests a 30% increase between 2022 and 2023, with military casualties being the suspected cause. This surge in wounded personnel will put a strain on Russia's medical and social services. In its latest intelligence update, the Institute for the Study of War. Russian forces will likely continue ongoing offensive efforts to destabilize Ukrainian defensive lines in spring 2024 while also preparing for a forecasted new offensive effort in summer 2024. The provision of Western security assistance will likely play a critical role in Ukraine's ability to hold territory now and to repel a new Russian offensive effort in the coming months. Well-provisioned Ukrainian forces have shown that they can prevent Russian forces from making even marginal gains during large-scale Russian offensive efforts, and there is no reason to doubt that Ukraine could further stabilize the front line and prepare for repelling the reported Russian offensive effort this summer if material shortages abated. The threat of significant Russian gains in the coming months does not mean that there is no threat of Russian forces making such gains through offensive operations this spring. Pressing shortages in air defense systems and missiles will likely dramatically reduce Ukraine's ability to defend against Russian strikes both in rear and front-line areas in the coming weeks if not addressed rapidly. Russian forces have shown the capacity to adapt to fighting in Ukraine and will likely aim to scale lessons learned from the war in Ukraine to ongoing efforts to prepare the Russian military for a potential long-term confrontation with NATO. Senior European officials stressed that a Russian victory in Ukraine would result in Russia posing a strategic threat to NATO security. Russian Security Council Deputy Chairperson Dmitry Medvedev questioned the sovereignty of Latvia, a NATO member state, and threatened Latvian President Edgars Rinkvis following Medvedev's March 14 call for the total elimination of Ukraine and Ukraine's absorption into Russia under Medvedev's peace formula. French President Emmanuel Macron stated on March 15 that he is not ruling out sending Western troops to Ukraine, but that the current situation does not require it. Russian President Vladimir Putin dismissed continued limited raids from Ukrainian territory into Russia's border region on March 15. Ukrainian forces conducted a drone strike against a Russian oil refinery in Kaluga Oblast, and recent Ukrainian strikes against oil refineries reportedly caused a spike in Russian domestic oil prices. Several Russians made limited attempts to disrupt the first day of voting in the Russian presidential election on March 15. Ukrainian Treatment of Prisoners of War Coordinating Headquarters Representative Petro Yatsenko stated that Russia has intensified its efforts to recruit military personnel from abroad. Ukrainian sources and Russian opposition media reported that occupation officials continue coercive efforts to artificially inflate voter turnout and perceptions of support for Russian President Vladimir Putin in occupied Ukraine. Russian forces recently made confirmed advances near Kupiansk and Avdiivka and in western Zaporizhia Oblast. In Zelenskyy's nightly address, following a despicable Russian missile strike in Odessa resulting in casualties, injuries, and ongoing rescue efforts, including the loss of emergency responders, condolences are extended to the affected families. Zelenskyy expresses gratitude to all involved in the rescue efforts and vows to support those impacted. Military leadership meetings focus on evaluating the frontline situation, ensuring ammunition provision, and discussing strategies, including the use of drones, to counter Russian aggression. Additionally, international collaboration efforts are emphasized to strengthen Ukraine's position, with a commitment to fulfilling agreements and enhancing defense capabilities. Thanks for following today's updates. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. We'll return tomorrow with the latest news on the ongoing conflict.